Elijah Carter was just 19 when he got his first job at the Grand Regent Hotel, the most prestigious hotel in the city, a place where the wealthy came to celebrate anniversaries, close business deals, and sip champagne under glittering chandeliers. But Elijah wasn't there to celebrate anything. His job, bellboy. He wore a crisp red jacket, polished black shoes, and white gloves. Every day, he carried heavy suitcases, pushed luggage carts, opened doors, mopped floors when no one was watching, and every day he followed the same rule. Black staff used the back door. Didn't matter how hot it was outside. It didn't matter if it was raining, storming, or freezing cold. Elijah and the other black workers had to walk through the alley, past the garbage bins, behind the kitchen, and enter quietly through the service entrance. The front entrance, with its marble steps, gold handles, and velvet ropes. Gosh, that was for guests only. Sometimes Elijah stood near the lobby, close enough to see, but never close enough to be seen. He watched businessmen in sharp suits hand their car keys to the valet. He watched women in silk dresses glide across the polished floors. He watched managers shake hands with powerful people. But when he took one step too close to the lobby carpet, a supervisor reminded him, "Hey boy, remember the rules? The help uses the back door?" And Elijah would smile politely, but inside, wasn't smiling. Inside, he was quietly building something stronger than anger. A vision, a promise to himself. One day I won't just walk through the front door. I'll own the whole damn building. Every day Elijah watched wealthy people glide across the marble floors, their shoes clicking softly against the polished stone. They laughed over cocktails. They signed business deals in leather chairs. They dined under crystal chandeliers without a care in the world. And Elijah? He stayed hidden behind the scenes, pushing luggage carts through narrow service hallways that smelled of cleaning supplies and old carpets. One day, he made a mistake. He was new to the job, eager to impress, so instead of using the service route, he walked toward the lobby to deliver a guest's bag. Before he could take 2 steps onto the plush carpet, a manager grabbed him by the shoulder. The grip was firm. The voice was cold. "Hey boy, what do you think you're doing? The help uses the back door." Elijah apologized, eyes lowered, heart pounding. But in his mind, something changed that day. As he turned around and walked back toward the service hallway, he made a silent promise to himself. One day I won't just walk through that front door. I'll own the building. Years passed. While the other workers went home and watched TV, Elijah stayed late, watching how the managers operated. He listened when they talked about profits and losses. He paid attention when they ordered supplies, managed bookings, and dealt with contractors. And when his shift ended, Elijah didn't waste time. He went home, opened borrowed business books, and studied until his eyes burned. Because he knew something most people didn't. He wasn't just working a job. He was learning how to run the entire hotel. While the other staff laughed during breaks, sharing jokes, gossiping about guests, and counting down the minutes to clock out, Elijah studied. He stood quietly near the front desk, pretending to wipe down counters, while secretly memorizing how reservations were made. He watched how the managers handled complaints, managed staff schedules, and balanced the books. At night, when his shift ended and the rest of the city went to sleep, Elijah went home to his tiny apartment. The wallpaper peeled off the walls. The mattress was thin, but on his nightstand sat a stack of used business books from the thrift store. He read them under flashlight, turning the pages carefully so he wouldn't wake his mother in the next room. He learned about hotel management, real estate, investing, customer service, psychology, cash flow, and profit margins. Every tip he earned, every single dollar he saved. No fancy clothes, no late-night parties, just discipline. At 25, after years of watching, learning, and grinding, Elijah took his first leap. He started his own cleaning company. At first, it was just him, a mop, a bucket, and a dream. He cleaned small motels, office lobbies, Airbnb rentals no one else wanted. But he treated every job like he was cleaning the Ritz, because Elijah wasn't in the cleaning business. He was in the empire-building business. When the building finally went up for sale, after years of mismanagement, debts piling up, and the old owners giving up, Elijah Carter bought it. No loans from friends, no inheritance. Just the years of sacrifice, smart investments, and the money he saved while the world wasn't watching. He signed the papers in a quiet office, with no cameras flashing, No headlines announcing the moment, but to Elijah, it was bigger than any news story. On his first day as the new owner, he didn't park in the alley. He didn't go through the back door, past the dumpsters, past the kitchen where he used to mop floors. This time, Elijah arrived at the front entrance. He stepped out of his black car, adjusted his suit, and looked up at the hotel's grand sign, the Grand Regent Hotel. The same building where they once told him the help uses the back door. Now he held the master keys in his pocket. The same marble steps he once wiped clean. He walked across them not as staff, but as the boss. Bellboys held the door for him. Managers who used to look down on him now greeted him with nervous smiles, saying, "Good morning, Mr. Carter." And Elijah smiled back, calm, confident, because this time he wasn't just walking through the front door. He owned the whole building. There's no side door, no service hallway. No sneaking through the back where the trash bins were stacked and the kitchen fumes filled the air. This time, Elijah Carter walked through the front entrance, head, suit sharp, perfectly pressed, polished shoes, tapping confidently against the marble floor. In his pocket, the master keys to the entire hotel. He walked past the golden chandeliers, past the velvet ropes, past the front desk where they used to barely notice him, but today, every eye was on him. The same workers who once told him, "Hey boy, the help uses the back door," stood silently now. Bellboys froze, their hands clutching luggage carts. Managers who once scolded him for standing too close to the lobby whispered quietly to each other. The housekeepers peeked out from behind service doors, eyes wide, mouths slightly open. They knew who he was, but they never thought this day would come. Elijah Carter, the kid who used to mop the floors, was now the man who signed their paychecks. He didn't gloat. He didn't brag. Just walked across that marble floor like he belonged there, because now no one could ever tell him otherwise again. "Boy, use the back door." That sentence had echoed in Elijah's mind for years. It wasn't just a phrase. It was a reminder of where they thought he belonged. Out of sight, out of mind, far from the front lobby, far from success. But now, those same people, the ones who once spoke those words, stood silently as he passed. No whispers, no smirks, orders barked from across the room. They just watched, eyes wide, hearts pounding, as Elijah Carter walked confidently through the grand lobby. His footsteps were steady, his face calm. His posture told not with arrogance, but with the quiet power of a man who earned his place. The bellboys, who once rolled their eyes at him, now they rushed to hold the door open. The managers who used to speak to him like he was invisible, now they stood with their hands folded, waiting for his instructions. The same people who had once told him the help uses the back door were now the very people working for him. Because now, Elijah Carter owned the whole hotel. Not just the lobby, not just the keys. He owned the legacy, owned the front door they tried to keep him from. And he owned the respect they once refused to give. This wasn't just a business deal. This was a lifetime of quiet revenge, achieved with grace, discipline, and unstoppable vision.